morning. I'm Mr. Gradgrind, the schoolmaster. I assume that you're our new student.
Yes, sir. My name is Cecilia Jupe. I was raised in the circus by my father, but now I've come here for a proper education.
Ah, very good. I assume that's what your father wanted for you?
I wish I knew. He ran away and then died.
I see. Well, don't worry, Cecilia. As long as you're enrolled here, you can board with my family. Now, let's introduce you to your classmates. Class, this is Cecilia. She's our newest student. Cecilia, I'd like you to meet your new classmates. Louisa, my daughter.
Hello.
Tom, my son. Hey, and Bitzer, the mandatory teacher's pet.
Greetings.
Is Bitzer your first name or your last name?
Exactly.
Okay. And is that everyone? Where are the rest of the students?
Actually, this is the entire class. You see, we're a brand new experimental school, based on a bold new philosophy. Why not take a seat, and I'll explain. The founding principle of this school is that facts, statistics, and logic are the only things that matter. Forget everything you know about imagination, fancies, or frail human emotion.
But all humans have an emotional side. If you deliberately ignore that, then won't your decisions be based on incomplete knowledge?
No, they will not. I understand that this may be difficult for you to accept, since you were raised in a circus. Wow, you came from the circus? What's it like?
Oh, it was marvelous. Why, every day...
Now, we'll have none of that. You're a student at this institution now, and you'll learn to embrace our way of thinking. Perhaps a demonstration is in order. Bitzer, could you please tell Cecilia how our school defines a horse?
Quadruped, graminivorous. 40 teeth, namely 24 grinders, 4 eye teeth, and 12 incisive. Sheds coat in the spring. In marshy countries, sheds hoofs too. Hoofs hard, but requiring to be shod with iron. Age known by marks in the mouth.
Well said, Bitzer. Now, Cecilia, wouldn't you say that's a splendid definition of a horse?
I'd say that he recited several unrelated facts about horses.
Yes, true, meaningful facts.
What's the matter, Cecilia? Is my definition too hard for you to understand?
I understood your definition. It just seems incomplete. If this school's trying to promote utilitarianism, then shouldn't your definition emphasize why horses are useful? You didn't even mention that horses transport people and haul heavy loads.
Yes. Class dismissed. I need to make some notes. Hey, Cecilia, way to show up Bitzer today.
I wasn't trying to show him up, Tom. I just think that if we're supposed to focus on facts, they should be useful ones.
That's easier said than done. Our father has very specific notions on which facts are useful.
But, Louisa, how can he decide which facts are useful for everyone else?
Sorry, Cecilia. That's just how it is. You got lucky today, but you'll cause yourself problems if you keep challenging Father and Bitzer.
I was only trying to understand Mr. Gradgrind's lesson.
Honestly, Cecilia, don't try. Just keep your head down and smile when Father presents your diploma at the end of the year. Now, on the more interesting matters, I believe Father mentioned you were raised in a circus. Tell us about it. What's a circus like?
You've never seen a circus before?
We're not even allowed to read fiction. Do you really think our father would let us see a circus?
I'm starting to see how this works.
Well, come on then. Tell us about the circus.
Why don't I just show you? The circus I came from is still at the edge of town. Let's go see it.
Suits me.
No, we can't. It'll be dark by the time we get there. And what will Father say?
Relax, Louisa. Father doesn't need to know. And I'm in the mood to learn something fun for a change. Lead on, Cecilia.
Perfect. We can still get tickets.
I can hardly wait. A whole evening of watching people goof off just for the fun of it.
Not so loud, Tom. If people notice us, word could still get back to Father.
Don't worry. Once we're inside, we'll be lost in the crowd. Just wait until you meet my old friends.
I might have known that I'd find you here. Don't blame us. We were just following Cecilia.
Tom,
Don't make excuses, boy. I've raised you better than this.
we're sorry, Father. It won't happen again.
I should certainly hope not. Now leave this ridiculous place immediately. We're going home.
Yes, Father.
But, sir,
If you want to remain my student and lodger, then you'll do as I say.
yes, sir.
Tom, head directly to your room and think about what you've done. Louisa, you'll do the same, but first prepare the guest room for Cecilia.
But, Mr. Gradgrind, they just wanted to know what a circus is like. I was trying to show them the facts firsthand.
I alone shall determine which facts are taught in my school. You will never mention the circus again. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Perfectly clear.
Evening, Gradgrind.
Ah, Bounderby. What brings you out here?
Curiosities, sir. I wanted to ask how your new school's coming along.
If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said it was going well.
Huh. Say no more, Gradgrind. I overheard your exchange with Little Miss Problem Pupil. So, as your primary sponsor, I'm naturally wondering, what are you gonna do about it?
It's only one student, Bounderby, and she's just an undisciplined circus girl. She'll probably come around.
Listen here, Gradgrind. Josiah Bounderby didn't get where he is today by ignoring problems. My own mother abandoned me when I was just a little boy. Where would I be now if I'd assumed that my mother would probably come around and take me back? No, sir. You need to meet this problem student head on.
Well, what do you suggest I do? Expel her after one day?
You could do that. That would be the easy, obvious solution to your problem. Just send her away.
But I take it you have a better idea?
A problem can be an opportunity, Gradgrind. Look at me. At just 6 years of age, I had no parents and no money. But that didn't stop me. I made the right friends, I found the right jobs, and most importantly, I took the right opportunities.
Yes, and now you're a self-made man. I know that. But what's the opportunity here?
This is a crucial year for your brand new school, Gradgrind. Everyone's gonna judge it by how well your first students turn out.
Yes, I'm painfully aware of that.
Well now, suppose you could show everyone that you took a wild, untamed circus girl and turned her into a paradigm student, crafted in the image of your school's philosophy. That would be worth something to your school's reputation, wouldn't you say?
I don't know, Bounderby. This is starting to sound risky. What if she just won't listen? Or worse yet, what if her notions spoil the other students?
Risk is part of life, old friend. When I was a boy, everyone said it would be risky to sweep chimneys in the slummiest part of town, but I did it anyway. I was so dirty it wouldn't have touched me with a pair of tongs. And look at me now. I practically own the whole town.
You could be onto something, Bounderby. Yes. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna drill her twice as hard as the others. She'll come to see the virtues of this school. or else she'll wish that she had. Your latest test results show improvement, but I'm not convinced that all of you have truly grasped the principles behind this course. Let's try a practical example right now. Tom, based on the principles we've learned this week, would you decorate your house with a picture of a horse? Of course not. Very good, Tom. But why not? Why would you refrain from hanging a picture of a horse in your house? For starters, I don't have my own house. But even if I did, why would I decorate it myself when I can pay someone else to do it for me? No, no, no! You would never use valuable money to... Ugh! Bitzer, can you please explain why Tom would be wasting his money?
Because horses don't walk on walls, sir. So it would be folly to hang a picture of a horse on your wall.
Yes, thank you, Bitzer. Is there a problem, Cecilia? You seem confused.
Yes, sir. I'm very confused. Are you saying that decoration should always reflect literal reality?
Yes, exactly.
Well, sir, houseflies can walk on walls. So, according to your logic, I couldn't have a picture of a horse on my wall, but I could have a picture of a housefly. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I suppose that's one way to interpret it, yes. But you're still missing the point. Let's try another example. What if my carpet had images of flowers on it? Would that be acceptable, Cecilia?
Careful, Cecilia.
Well, flowers do actually grow on the ground. So, since the carpet is on the ground, I guess that would be okay, right?
Wrong.
What? Why?
Because flowers grow in the dirt outside. They do not grow out of floorboards or carpets. If those were real flowers on your carpet, you'd be crushing them underfoot.
But the flowers on the carpet aren't real, so what's the problem?
Don't you see, Cecilia? It's the same as the picture of a horse. You shouldn't have a representation of something that doesn't reflect factual reality.
But that's a completely arbitrary way of looking at things. I mean, people put tables and chairs on their carpets, right? Are you really saying that my carpet can't have images of flowers, but it can have images of tables and chairs?
Well, it would seem that I'd have to allow images of tables and chairs on the carpet. Great, it'll go perfectly with my housefly wallpaper. Ugh, we seem to be missing the forest for the trees. My point is that imagination and curiosity are frivolous, wasteful things. As I've said all along, only facts have true value.
But imagination and curiosity motivate us to discover new facts. Without that, where are new facts supposed to come from?
From the encyclopedia, that's where. Okay, listen up. It's almost lunch, and this has been an exhausting morning. Go ahead and take your break now. But this afternoon, I expect you to demonstrate a much more open mind.
I know you mean well, Cecilia, but I wish you wouldn't stir up Father that way.
I'm sorry, Louisa. Please believe me, I never mean to cause trouble. His ideas are just so arbitrary and rigid and joyless. I'm already doing it again. How do you stand it?
I'm not any happier with my education than you are. I've just learned to accept it, that's all.
Yes, but how do you accept it so calmly? I get frustrated just listening to him.
You've only had to listen to him for a few weeks, Cecilia. I've grown up with it. Sooner or later, you realize that it doesn't matter what you say to Father. His facts are the only correct ones.
You can't actually believe that.
What difference does it make? At school or at home, it's nothing but trouble to disagree with Father. His ideas might as well be true.
Louisa, don't lose heart. You won't be stuck here forever, you know. And you have to set a good example for Tom. Sometimes I worry about him.
You're worried about Tom? Out of all of us, he probably shows the least respect for Father's authority. I thought you'd like that, Cecilia.
I don't think Tom understands the difference between Mr. Gradgrind's authority and authority in general. Just imagine where that could lead him.
Dear me, no one ever taught me how to imagine.
Well, maybe I could teach you. And in exchange, you could teach me how to avoid some of my stormier arguments in class.
Well,
Girls, the afternoon's lesson has started, and we have a lot to cover. Please stop idling and come to class.
I'm sorry, Cecilia. This is just the way things are.
Ah, what an age we live in. The world's first millbank factory. It's a mill, a bank, and a factory combined into one useful building.
Mr. Gradgrind to see you, sir.
Ah, Gradgrind. Welcome, welcome.
Good evening, Bounderby. Your message said you had some sort of offer for me?
Ah, you were never one for small talk, eh? No, sir. It's always down to business with you, and I respect that. Let me be blunt then. Your students are due to graduate tomorrow. And from what I hear, things haven't all gone your way.
Now see here. Bitzer and Louisa have perfectly adopted my school's philosophy, and Tom... well, I'm pretty sure that Tom has too. It's only that blasted Cecilia. She just won't listen to reason.
Calm yourself, Gradgrind. I didn't call you here to ridicule your problems. I called you here to solve them. Josiah Bounderby looks after his friends.
Yes, of course, Bounderby. Please pardon my outburst. It's been a trying year.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm sure you're worried about your school's reputation. Well, let me put your mind at ease. When people judge a school's success, do you know what they care about most?
A superior intellectual philosophy?
What? No! Results, Gradgrind. People like results. They want to know that if they send little Davy Dum-Dum or little Liza Lackadaisical to your fine establishment, they'll find gainful employment.
What are you saying? You can help my students find employment?
Even better. I'm willing to hire your students outright. They can start working here at my millbank factory the very day after graduation. Would that be worth something to you?
That seems strangely generous of you, Bounderby. What if one of the students causes trouble for you?
I assume you mean Cecilia. Don't worry about it, Gradgrind. If she's trouble, I can always find some pretext to fire her after a year or so. By then, you'll have a few more graduations under your belt, and no one will care about the original students anymore.
So you say. But I still don't see what you're getting out of this deal. Surely you're not going to employ all 4 of my students out of charity.
Ah, now we come to it. I'm only planning to hire 3 of your students, Gradgrind. In return, I'd like to marry Louisa.
My daughter? Isn't she a little young for you, Bounderby?
Careful now. I didn't get to be a self-made man by turning down good deals. When I was a child, I once had to trade my own dog for a bowl of slop. The slop was disgusting, and I missed my poor dog for years, but it was the only way to live another day. You're getting a much better deal than that. Economic security for your daughter, and full employment for your other students. Your school gets a boost, and I get a wife. Everyone wins, Gradgrind.
I don't know, Bounderby. This really isn't what I had in mind for Louisa.
Come now, Gradgrind. Surely there's some statistic out there that'll set your mind at ease. Put those facts of yours to use while this offer's still on the table.
I suppose there was a recent study on the statistics of marriage. It showed that marriages are sometimes contracted between people of very unequal ages. Furthermore, in nearly 3/4 of those marriages, the elder party was the bridegroom.
There, I knew you'd come through. And were they unhappy marriages?
The statistics didn't say, Bounderby.
Well, there you have it. I think you have enough facts to make a wise decision. But a word of warning, Gradgrind. This is a one-time offer, so you'd better decide now. And if you offend me by turning it down, then don't expect me to renew it later. That's just business.
Well, I just... Okay, I accept. You can propose to Louisa. Just promise me you'll be good to her.
She'll want for nothing, Gradgrind. You have my word. And to show you what a good sport I am, I'll let your other 3 students work a full month in my Millbank factory before I propose. That'll give everyone time to adjust. Can't have too many changes at once, can we?
Thank you, Bounderby. You're a true gentleman.
I know, Gradgrind. I know.
Well then, have a good evening, Bounderby.
Have a good evening, Gradgrind. And hey, happy graduation day.
You're being foolish, Mr. Bounderby. That girl is far too young for you.
Well now, Mrs. Sparsit, I do appreciate you looking out for me that way. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that if I had a wife, I wouldn't need a full-time housekeeper.
I mean it, sir. You can't handle this like it's just another business transaction.
It seems to me that you were only too happy to profit from my business transactions when there wasn't a pretty young face involved. You've got the cushiest housekeeping job in the county, Mrs. Sparsit, and don't think that I don't know it. You stand to lose a lot more from this marriage than I do.
I don't wish to lose my position, sir. I'm just urging you to reconsider.
The only thing I'll reconsider is your usefulness here, if you insist on pushing this issue. Josiah Bounderby doesn't need anyone, ma'am. When I was growing up, I'd pass the days in a ditch and the nights in a pigsty.
I know, nights in a pigsty, but I still...
Quiet. I was cold and miserable, and I stank like a stack of sardines. But I pulled through it, even though nobody threw me a rope. I think I know what I'm doing.
I understand, sir. I apologize for bringing this up.
Good help's so hard to find.
Wow. So this is the Millbank factory. Do you remember who we're supposed to meet here?
Some guy named Steven, I think. Found the place in town yet?
Yes, I'm already settled in. How about you?
I know a guy. I'm good. And you, Bitsa?
I found the least expensive place on the market. It's an hour walk every morning, but it'll keep me fit. And I won't waste any money on fancy accommodations.
I might have known.
Ah, you must be the new hires from that school teacher's revolutionary academy. I've heard a thing or two about it, you know. I'm eager to see how you put your training to use.
You should be, sir.
Right. Well, I should introduce myself. I'm Stephen Blackpool, the lead worker on this floor. Mr. Bounderby's asked me to give you the grand tour. Now, let's see if I remember. Tom, Bitzer, and, was it Rachel?
It's Cecilia, sir.
Dear me, I beg your pardon. For some reason, I thought you looked like a Rachel. And please, you can all just call me plain old Stephen. We don't stand on ceremony here. We're all just workers. Now, when Mr. Bounderby drops by, that's when you stand on ceremony.
What time is the first break?
What? Well, you're usually supposed to earn that by working first. You get 15 minutes in the morning.
Great! I'm taking my 15 minutes now. Cecilia, cover for me.
Cover for... Hey, wait! We don't even know what we're doing yet. Ah, he's already gone.
Does he do that very often?
You better keep an eye on him, Stephen. If Tom can earn a day's wage without lifting a finger, he will. He's only here because his father is friends with Mr. Bounderby.
Bitzer, it's rude to gossip.
Well, it's true.
I see. Well, how about we let Tom's work speak for itself? In the meantime, let's get down to brass tacks. This is the loom type you'll be training against. It's a state-of-the-art model.
I've been studying looms all week, so I'm good to go. Enjoy the rest of the tour, Cecilia. But as for me, there's work to be done.
What's that? But wait, how could you ought to know? Wow, there goes a keynote if ever I saw one. He'll probably have my job within a week. Shall we carry on with the tour? I was supposed to keep you busy for half an hour.
Sure, what's next?
Right this way. Now, this latest model is a marvel of loom technology. Back in the day, you'd spend your first half hour just setting up. But now, you simply flip this switch over here.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. My finger just hurts like a blind bobcat. I should have mentioned that I'm a wee bit accident prone.
Accident prone?
Aye, I'm always getting into scrapes like that. You'll get used to it. I was planning to show you the steel foundry next, but maybe this isn't the day for it. Yes, let's tour something a little safer.
Sure, lead the way.
And this, of course, is the cafeteria. Their puddings are horrendous, but the soup's not bad.
Good to know.
Aha! Now here's something you won't get on most tours. Look down there at the street corner. Do you see that older woman on the street, dressed in purple?
Yes, I do. And she's staring right at us.
Not quite, but let me start at the beginning. That there is the mysterious old woman. Nobody knows who she is, but she shows up faithfully on the first of every month. She spends 15 minutes staring up at the management offices. Then she leaves. No one knows why.
It really looks like she's staring at us. Are you sure she's watching the management offices?
Quite sure. I've gauged her line of sight from 3 different vantage points, and there's no mistaking it. She's definitely watching the management offices.
You've made quite a study of this. Why not just ask her what she's doing?
Well, I didn't want to seem nosy. Anyway, who doesn't love a good mystery? Once I noticed the pattern, I wanted to look into it for myself.
Huh.
Intriguing, isn't it?
I have to admit, this is the most interesting thing I've seen on the tour.
Cecilia, as your tour guide, I'm not quite sure how to take that, but I'll assume you meant no offense. And there she goes. She won't be back for another month. Mark my words, though. On the first of the month, she'll be standing at that corner again.
Well, I guess we should be getting back to the work floor now.
Right you are, Cecilia. I'll lead the way. Ow! I fumbled that doorknob like a bumbling badger. What a muddle. That's 2 injuries in 1 hour. What you must think of me.
Don't worry about it, Stephen. I enjoyed the tour, really.
Well, that's good to know. What the... Tom?
Whatever happened, it was Bitz's fault. I haven't done anything.
Aye, I can see that.
So anyway, my loom work is improving, but I still have a long way to go. You should see Bitzer, though. He's really dug in, and he works late every day. Stephen says he's never seen such a keener.
I don't doubt it.
Louisa, is everything okay? You seem more resigned than normal.
You're probably right. Now that you and Tom are gone, I guess there's no one left to contradict Father for me.
Louisa, what about you? Maybe it's time to shake off your schooling once and for all. It's okay to have a personality and hobbies and a little fun now and then.
To what end, though? What I want doesn't matter.
Oh, I could just throttle your father for doing this to you.
Ah, Louisa. Cecilia,
Mr. Gradgrind?
I'm actually glad you could join us today, Cecilia. You were always my most difficult student. You never truly accepted my teachings. But now, see the advantages they've conferred upon Louisa. Mr. Bounderby, if you will.
Evening, Louisa. As you know, I'm a self-made man, and I don't look for compliments nor give 'em. So I'll just come straight to the point. I, Josiah Bounderby, am a rich, selfish miser, and I'd like to pontificate about my wretched upbringing. Want to marry me?
Sure, whatever.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Louisa, but most people are a little more definite when they answer that question. Now, do you want to marry me?
It doesn't matter what I want. You want to marry me, so I guess that's good enough.
Now see here, Gradgrind, what have you done to her? I was expecting an educated woman, not a brainwashed automaton.
And that's exactly what you're getting, Bounderby. That is, an educated woman. Not a brainwashed automaton, obviously. Louisa, I can't make this decision for you. You'll have to choose for yourself.
Okay, I'll marry Mr. Bounderby.
Not so fast. Who in blazes are you?
I'm just coming to that. Louisa, you don't know me, but I'm James Harthouse. I'm a lazy, scheming cad, and I like to ruin people's lives. Wanna marry me instead?
Sure, whatever.
Louisa, you can't accept two proposals, and I'm not sure you should accept either one. Please give this some thought.
Okay. Father, which proposal do you want me to choose?
I've heard enough. This is your fault, Gradgrind. Your useless teachings have absolutely ruined your daughter. I withdraw my proposal, and I'm pulling the funding from your school.
But Bounderby! Bounderby, surely we can come to some understanding. We can... Well, I hope you're happy, Louisa.
Not really.
Go to your room.
Okay. Just let me know when you need me to think something or say something.
Louisa? Listen to yourself. Wait, Louisa! Please wait, we need to talk about this.
Hello. I don't believe we've been introduced. I'm James Harthouse, the absurdly selfish cad. I derive great enjoyment from enticing others into making really bad decisions. Are you doing anything later?
Get out and don't come back.
Now then, let's not fight. I'm not so bad once you get to know me. Come now, show me a smile.
Have it your way. Hey, what do you know? I'm smiling.
That was unexpected.
Really? I'm surprised it doesn't happen to you more often. Anyway, listen up. Normally I'm not this aggressive, but I just have this feeling that if I let you hang around, you're going to pull focus, derail the story, and make everyone miserable. So get lost.
Fine, I'm going.
And stay out of trouble.
No promises.
Oh, it's a disaster. I can't get through to Louisa. She won't even listen to me.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Gradgrind, but you must have expected.
Blast it all, Cecilia. I'm trying to ask for your help.
Oh, well, okay.
If you could find it in yourself to, visit my daughter from time to time, maybe provide some camaraderie or a listening ear to help Louisa recover her personality.
You mean be her friend?
Well, I wouldn't put it in such fanciful terms, but yes.
Well, that's easy then. I'm already her friend.
Ah, good. Good, that's settled then. Thank you.
And what are you going to do, Mr. Gradgrind? Without Mr. Bounderby's funding, can you keep your school running?
Oh, the school's finished. There's no point in pretending otherwise. I suppose it's time for me to abandon my philosophies and face reality.
Honestly, sir, I don't think you'll regret it. It's better for Louisa, too.
Unless...
Oh, no.
Perhaps the real problem is that I tried to instill my philosophies on too small a test group. Yes, I'll get into politics and advocate my philosophy to the entire nation. This is just the beginning, Cecilia. Onward and upward.
Well, I guess you can't win them all. In the meantime, I'd better have a chat with Louisa. We have a lot of unlearning to do. Ah, Bitzer, thanks for agreeing to see me this early.
Of course, ma'am, but please be brief. My first shift begins in 3 minutes.
Very well, then. I'll come straight to the point. My cushy job as Mr. Bounderby's housekeeper is in jeopardy. I can tell that he's been looking for excuses to fire me, so I need to make myself as useful as possible.
With all due respect, ma'am, I've heard that you frequently criticize Mr. Bounderby's decisions. Wouldn't it be simpler to just show him a little respect?
Simpler, yes, but I don't respect him, and I don't feel like faking it.
I see. So instead you plan to balance insubordination with utility. Where exactly do I fit into this picture?
Bitzer, I'd like you to be Mr. Bounderby's snitch. Basically, you'd be his eyes and ears in the Millbank factory. You'd report directly to me, of course.
Ha! Of course I would. And then you'd take credit for my information, so that you can look useful to Mr. Bounderby.
You're sharp, Bitzer. Maybe too sharp. But I think you'll go along with this anyway.
Why is that?
Because you take your obligations to your employer seriously. And because you do well when the company does well. If you help Mr. Bounderby run a leaner business by outing some slackers, and I get to look useful in the process, then honestly, where's the harm?
That's a surprisingly persuasive argument.
Of course it is. And as long as I'm passing your information to Mr. Bounderby, there's no reason I can't take the opportunity to sing your own praises a little.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm in.
Perfect. Now, what can you tell me?
Well, let's start at the top. Or should I say the bottom. Tom is the worst of the bunch, ma'am. He slacks off whenever he can get away with it. And then he'll lie to your face afterward.
I see.
You seem uneasy, Mrs. Sparsit. Did I say too much?
Not exactly, Bitzer. It's just that Tom is a tricky subject with Mr. Bounderby. He's Mr. Gradgrind's son, you know.
But I thought that Mr. Bounderby wasn't on good terms with the Gradgrinds anymore.
I'm afraid it's not that simple. Although their friendship was a bit strained by that Louisa unpleasantness, Mr. Gradgrind still does what he can to protect Mr. Bounderby's interests in Parliament. So you see, getting Tom fired could still cause problems for Mr. Bounderby.
Ugh, politics. So should I stop telling you about Tom's misdemeanors?
Oh no, please keep it coming. I simply love gossip.
In that case, I'm also pretty sure that Tom gambles away most of his money.
He'll probably make a mess of his whole life. How exciting. In any event, Bitzer, please continue to keep your eyes and ears open.
Will do, ma'am. Out with the useless and in with the useful. That's what Mr. Gradgrind used to tell me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should get back to work.
You're becoming a proper worker here, Cecilia. I've seen you running those looms. You're like a seasoned professional.
Ah, you've been watching me, have you?
Oh, well. What I meant is, it's my responsibility to make sure you improve. Clearly it falls within my duty to check up on that, you know. But not all the time. Just the normal amount, of course.
Of course.
Well, I'd better eat my soup before it gets cold. Ouch! No, it's piping hot! Jumping jackknife that stings!
Are you okay?
Aye, it's fine, it's fine. Sorry about that. What a muddle I make of things, and clearly you were just trying to be nice to me. I don't know how else to say this, Cecilia, but I'm getting a bit fond of you.
I'm fond of you too, Stephen. You've been a big help ever since I got here, and you really seem like a nice, hard-working man.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we like each other. I'm glad we finally established that, because I've been trying to get it out for days. Does that mean I can stop being awkward and just talk like a normal person now?
I never thought you were awkward, Stephen. Well, maybe a little awkward.
I suppose I am. Well, anyway, why don't we check for our mystery woman? It's the first of the month, don't you know?
I guess the mystery woman hasn't shown up yet. By the way, Stephen, is it me or have a lot of people been fired lately? Is something going on?
Aye, I'm afraid it's just Mr. Bounderby's fiery temper. He's been at his sorts ever since that proposal incident with your friend Louisa. Right now, he'll fire someone on any pretext.
Well, have you noticed that the last 3 workers Mr. Bounderby fired spent a lot of time near Bitz's loom? I mean, what if Bitzer's finding dirt on people? I could just see him turning into a snitch.
Maybe so, lass. But office politics are a perilous thing. In this kind of environment, even speculating can be dangerous. You'll be safer if you keep your head down and your nose clean, exactly as you've done so far.
Well, maybe you're right.
Trust me, Cecilia. I've already weathered a storm or two. This'll pass as well.
Oh, look, here she comes.
Aye, the mysterious woman. Right on schedule.
You know, she reminds me of someone. It's something about her face.
You don't say. Some relative of yours, perhaps.
No, I don't think so. It's someone else, but I can't quite place it.
Well, I'm sure it'll come to you. Listen, we probably have to get back to work now, but maybe I could walk you home today.
I'd like that.
Hey, Stephen. Mr. Bounderby wants to see you in his office. Now.
Stephen, be careful.
I always am, Cecilia. No, really, I am. I'm just a bit accident prone. Anyway, I'll see you later, Cecilia. Oh, there's still the mess I left on the floor.
I'll get it. Just go. You can't keep Mr. Bounderby waiting.
Aye, that's true. Okay, but I owe you one.
See you later, Stephen.
You called, sir?
Yes, I did, Stephen. Get in here. Tell me, Stephen, did I ever tell you about my mother?
I beg your pardon, sir?
When I was just a lad, she threw me out on the street. I was the most wretched creature in town, but it made me strong. Vagabond, errand boy, laborer, porter, clerk, chief manager, small partner. Today, I am the most wealthy, influential man in town. And I did it all by myself, Stephen.
Aye, sir.
Now, seeing as I've achieved such monumental success, you suppose I've found it in my heart to forgive my foolish mother?
Yes?
Wrong! Josiah Bounderby never forgets an offense. For throwing me out on the street, I consider her the very worst person who ever lived. Or at least I did, until very recently. Now, I'm afraid that dubious honor may rest with one of my own employees.
I'm afraid I don't follow you, sir. Has one of the workers thrown you out on the street?
Imbecile! I'm referring to the general drop in productivity and the general rise in employee unrest. And it's happening on your floor, Stephen.
I'm terribly sorry if production's dropped, sir. I'll look into it right away.
And the employee unrest?
I haven't heard of any unrest, sir.
Don't play dumb with me, Stephen. Surely you've seen some evidence of unrest or malcontent, or even just a bad attitude. Perhaps in the new hires. Bitzer? Tom? Cecilia?
No, she's an excellent worker.
Uh-huh. You were awfully quick to defend her, weren't you? What are you hiding, Stephen? Is Cecilia causing problems? Come now, she was trouble for Gradgrind too. Don't let her take you down with her.
I'm telling you, you're barking up the wrong tree. Maybe people are just nervous because they keep getting fired.
My globe!
Oh dear, this is a muddle.
So, my employees are nervous, are they?
I'm terribly sorry about your globe.
Well, I'll give them something to be nervous about. Stephen, you're fired too.
Mr. Bounderby, I urge you to reconsider. I've been a good, honest worker.
If you aren't off my premises within the hour, then I'm also pressing charges for vandalizing my office. Now get out of my sight.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, is everything okay?
I'm afraid not, Cecilia. That ogre of a businessman just fired me.
Oh, Stephen, what are you going to do?
He's given me an hour to leave the premises, so that pretty much covers my immediate plans. After that, I suppose I'll have to find employment somewhere else.
But you haven't done anything wrong. This isn't fair.
I don't suppose it is, Cecilia, but there isn't much I can do about it. I still care for you, though. Are you willing to wait for me while I get back on my feet?
Of course I am, Stephen. Take as much time as you need. And please write to me. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too, Cecilia. I'd better go now.
Stephen, I just heard the news. I'm so sorry this has happened. Come on, I'll keep you company on your way out.
All right, Tom. Let's go.
Huh. I guess Tom isn't completely useless after all.
I heard that.
Hey, who goes there?
Who wants to know? Ow! Muddle! You've got to be kidding. Seriously?
Stephen, I presume?
Yeah, it's me. I see you're working late again.
Always. What are you doing out here, Stephen? You really shouldn't be hanging around the Millbank factory after you've been fired. It looks bad.
My reasons are my own, Bitzer. And if you see Bounderby tomorrow, you can tell that man to take a flying leap.
Listen, Stephen, I'm not going to defend what Mr. Bounderby did today. It was stupid and pointless. But you have to face reality. You won't find another job in this town, not after you've been sacked by Mr. Bounderby. He's too influential here.
I was really hoping to land on my feet without leaving town.
Because of Cecilia, right? Oh, don't look so surprised. It's blindingly obvious that you two like each other. But you'll need a job to provide for her. And I'm telling you, you won't find one here.
Maybe you're right, Bitzer. You always were a practical one. But if it's all the same to you, I want to stay here just a little longer.
Okay. Suit yourself, I guess. You were always a good worker, Stephen, and it's a pity for this company that Mr. Bounderby fired you. I hope you can find gainful employment elsewhere. Good evening.
See you around. Oh, and Bitzer,
Yes?
just for the record, are you actually Mr. Bounderby's snitch?
Yes. Not that it matters. Mr. Bounderby fires whomever he pleases. Sometimes I worry about the future.
Aye, me too.
Tom, what's this all about?
I don't know. Mr. Bounderby just asked everyone to meet him here.
He was in an uproar about something this morning, but he wouldn't say what it was. He's supposed to make an announcement any minute now.
Well, this is a sorry chapter from our Millbank factory. I built this place up from nothing, you know. I taught myself how to read by studying shop signs, and I learned math by counting bricks in people's chimneys. Now, this place has had its ups and downs, but this is the first time it's ever been in genuine crisis. Sometime during the night, our primary safe was robbed of 150 pounds.
150 pounds doesn't sound like a business crisis.
Yeah, well, it's bound to be. It's a crisis because it happened to him.
Now, Josiah Bounderby is a man of mercy when he can afford it, but this is war. Somebody's stolen my money, and I want answers.
Mr. Bounderby, I almost hate to bring this up, but, well, I saw Stephen Blackpool hanging around here last night.
Bitzer!
I appreciate the tip, Bitzer. As it happens, I've already dispatched the police to bring Stephen here for questioning. He's a natural suspect, since he was just fired yesterday. But if he was casing my millbank factory last night, well, that clinches things.
This is ridiculous. Stephen would never do that.
Don't get involved, Cecilia. Bounderby's in a dangerous mood right now.
Mr. Bounderby, I regret to inform you that Mr. Stephen Blackpool was not found at his home. His neighbours don't know where he is either.
That tears it. I see it all now. In a fit of anger, that ungrateful villain robbed my safe and skipped town.
Actually, sir, I advised Stephen to leave town so that he could find employment elsewhere. He's probably just job hunting in another county today.
Don't defend the man, Bitzer. You said yourself that Stephen was casing my millbank factory just last night. Isn't that proof enough for you?
Mr. Bounderby, that's purely circumstantial. What about the mysterious woman who shows up at the corner every month?
Who?
There's a woman who shows up at the corner on the 1st of every month. She watches your office for several minutes. And she was there yesterday, so by your logic we should arrest her too.
What an excellent suggestion.
That's not what
All of you, I'm offering a generous reward to anyone who can bring me either Stephen Blackpool or this mysterious woman. Dead or alive. Well, strictly observing all applicable laws, of course.
You're wrong, Mr. Bounderby. Stephen's a kind, caring man, and he would never rob your stupid vault. As for me, I'm off to find the mysterious woman. If she was here yesterday, then someone might know where she went.
Cecilia, shouldn't you be at work?
Louisa, something terrible has happened. Mr. Bounderby was just robbed.
That doesn't sound so bad.
You don't understand. Stephen was seen near the millbank factory last night, so now he's the prime suspect.
Oh, that does sound pretty bad.
Yes, and it gets worse. Stephen's gone missing, so he can't even defend himself. If we don't find a way to clear his name, everyone's going to assume the worst.
Are you sure he didn't do it?
Of course I'm sure, Louisa. What kind of question is that?
I'm sorry. I know you care about him. But if Stephen didn't do it, that means someone else did. Wouldn't it clear Stephen's name if they caught the real thief?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But no one's going to bother looking for other suspects because Mr. Bounderby's offered a reward for Stephen's capture.
Ugh, of course he did. You know, I never liked Mr. Bounderby.
Why, Louisa, you've just expressed a preference. That's wonderful progress.
Did I? Yes, I suppose I did. Yes, I definitely don't like Mr. Bounderby. In fact, I think he's terrible. Thank goodness I didn't marry him. That would have been a disaster.
I completely agree with you, Louisa. If only you'd heard him this morning. Why, to hear him rant and rave, you'd think Mr. Bounderby had lost his entire fortune. No one would ever guess it was just a measly 150 pounds.
Did you say 150 pounds? As in exactly that amount?
Well, yes, exactly that amount. Don't get me wrong, 150 pounds is still a lot, but to a man like Mr. Bounderby—
Cecilia, earlier this week, Tom tried to borrow 150 pounds from me.
What? And did you give it to him?
No, I don't have that kind of money to spare, and Father stopped lending him money weeks ago. Which means that Tom would need to get it from somewhere else.
Now that I think about it, Tom insisted on walking Stephen out of the building. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm thinking that if Tom urgently needed £150, he could get it by robbing Mr. Bounderby and then framing Stephen. Did you actually hear what Tom said to Stephen on the way out?
No, I was out of earshot.
Then let's ask Tom in person.
And I'm coming with you.
Were you eavesdropping on us, Mr. Gradgrind?
Well, I overheard you badmouthing Bounderby, and it made me curious.
Father, are you sure you should come with us? It might be painful for you.
Tom is my son, and I'm gonna be there when you confront him, come what may. Now, let's get some answers.
All right, I've told Bitzer to send in Tom. But just for the record, I'm against this idea. This meeting had better turn out the way you're expecting. Shut the door, Tom.
Sure thing, boss. Father? Louisa? What's going on here?
Tom, did you or did you not steal £150 from my safe?
No, I think. Sorry, the way you phrased that question was kinda confusing.
You made a foolish mistake, brother. You stole exactly the same amount of money that you tried to borrow from me. You really needed it, didn't you?
Oh, so I'm a suspect now. Give me a break. Stephen's your man. He was the one that Bitzer saw last night, casing this place.
Yes, and you made sure of that, didn't you, Tom? You told Stephen something to make sure he'd wait outside and incriminate himself.
You can't prove that.
Actually, we can. As soon as we find Stephen, he can let us know exactly what you told him.
I'm guessing that you robbed the safe in the afternoon. You knew the theft wouldn't be noticed until morning, so people would assume it happened overnight. That's why you wanted Stephen to stand outside, where he'd be noticed by Bitzer after you left.
They're making some good points, Tom. Everyone knows that Bitzer works late, so you can be pretty sure that Bitzer would spot Stephen that evening.
Look, this is insane. I didn't rob the stupid safe, got it? And anyway, why is everyone making such a big deal over a stupid stack of 10-pound notes?
How did you know they were 10-pound notes?
Lucky guess, I guess. Actually, I think you mentioned it earlier. That must be it. Oh, honestly, Tom, shut up. Okay, look, just look. I had to pay off my gambling debts this week. They were gonna take all my stuff. So yeah, I borrowed £150 from the safe.
This is low, brother, even for you. If you were just borrowing the money, then why drag Stephen into this at all?
Well, I knew they were gonna blame someone once the money went missing. And Stephen had just been fired anyway, right? So, I told Stephen I could find some work for him if he waited outside the Millbank factory. You know, to make him look suspicious.
Unbelievable. And then Stephen goes to jail for your theft, right?
But it wouldn't be for long. I swear, Cecilia. As soon as I got out of debt, I was gonna pay back Mr. Bounderby by slipping the money into his office somewhere. That way, everyone would assume it was just a big misunderstanding, and Stephen wouldn't be in trouble anymore.
So you say. In that case, where's my money now?
I gambled it away last night. I'm due for a big win, though.
Well, I've heard enough.
That makes two of us. Tom, I'm very disappointed in you, but there's still time to make this right. If you leave for the docks immediately, you'll find a ship that's leaving for Brazil within the hour. Stow away in the cargo hold and wait at least 3 days before you show yourself. At that point, it'll be too late for them to turn around. In the meantime, to cover your tracks, I'll spread a rumor that you fled to a nearby circus.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Who said anything about helping Tom flee the country? He committed a crime and framed an innocent man for it.
Now, Cecilia, I know you're upset, but let's not do anything hasty. I'm sure that once Tom is safely established somewhere else, he'll completely reform his ways and become a productive member of society. Right, Tom? Sure, that's certainly one possibility. Okay, maybe not. But there's always a chance that Tom will eventually become deathly ill and repent of his misdemeanors on his deathbed. Right, Tom? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one either.
Okay, this is stupid. We're not doing any of that. Just let Tom face the consequences of his actions.
Father, what's gotten into you?
None of you seem to realize that my political career is at stake. Why, my entire platform has been moral reform. If Tom is arrested and convicted, I'll be the laughingstock of Parliament.
No kidding. Especially since you've made such a big deal about how your philosophies promote an efficient, honest society.
As much as I'd love to see how this conversation ends, I have a date with Brazil.
Going somewhere, Tom?
Pizza?
I don't know what's more disgusting. The way you've routinely wasted this company's time and resources, or your willingness to betray someone better than you just to conceal your own short-sighted stupidity.
Wow, burned.
Bitzer, I'm begging you, let Tom go. Let him escape, and he'll never cause trouble for this company again. Do it for your old teacher.
Not a chance, Mr. Gradgrind. It was your school that taught me the importance of logic and enlightened self-interest. By preventing Tom's escape, I am a hero.
Bitzer, look, you want enlightened self-interest? Well, I'll give you anything. Anything at all. Please just let Tom go. I can't bear to lose another profession in disgrace.
Try to see the irony, sir. I'm the only student who truly embraced your philosophies and applied them correctly. And yet, here we are, at cross purposes.
Bitzer, you stand aside and let Tom escape, or so help me I'll punch you into next week.
It's too late, sir. The police are already coming up the stairs. Tom's going to jail. And after everything you've just said, well, I'm afraid your political career is finished too.
I need to go outside and get some air.
I'll see you all out. Well, I didn't get my money back, but at least we nailed the man who did it.
Mr. Bounderby, since we've proven that Stephen was innocent, maybe you could consider hiring him back?
What? Of course not. I fired Stephen before any of this happened, fair and square.
On what grounds, though?
I don't remember. I was angry at the time, but I'm sure I had a good reason.
Bounderby, we helped you catch a thief. A little gratitude might be appropriate, don't you think?
Listen up. Josiah Bounderby doesn't need life lessons from anyone. Least of all you, Gradgrind. Didn't I build my fortune from nothing? Didn't I forge my own path to success without any help from family or friends? Now, maybe my struggles have made me a little hard, but I don't apologize for that. I don't have the time or patience for sugarcoating. Josiah Bounderby tells it like it is.
Mr. Bounderby, I've found the mysterious woman.
Eh? What woman?
Don't you remember? You offered a generous reward if someone brought you either Stephen Blackpool or the mysterious woman.
Oh, right. Actually, Mrs. Spursett, we've already caught the real thief. There's no need to bother this mysterious woman anymore, whoever she is.
But, Mr. Bounderby, she said she knows you.
I don't see how that's... Wait.
Josie! Josie? Did she mean you, Mr. Bounderby?
I don't know this woman. Now, let's all head back inside.
Now don't be silly, Josie. It's one thing to keep me at arm's length, but I won't have you pretending I don't exist.
This isn't a good time, Mother.
Wait a moment. This woman is your mother?
But I thought she abandoned you when you were 6 years old.
Why, don't be ridiculous. If it weren't for my influence and financial support, little Josie here would probably still be living at home. He never had a head for business, you know.
This explains so much.
Anyway, once my Josie moved to this town, he was very adamant that I keep my distance. I was a little hurt by that, but I'm sure he had his reasons. And I always come by once a month just to take a peek at my successful little Josie.
Mother, I've told you not to call me that.
Hush, Josie. I'm just saying a quick hello to your friends. Speaking of which, your friends have some awfully strange notions, Josie. Why would they ever think I abandoned you?
I really don't think we need to get into this.
Because Mr. Bounderby told us you abandoned him.
What was that?
Oh, cattywampus.
Josie, have you been slandering me to your friends?
Mother, listen. I needed their respect. I had to tell them something.
I scrimped and saved every penny to get you the best education possible. And you have the nerve to say I abandoned you? I don't believe this. And after all those lunches I've been sending to.
I appreciate your lunches. You know that.
Hey, self-made man. I thought you traded your dog for a bowl of slop. Did your mommy make it for you?
Ugh. This is your fault, Mrs. Sparsit. You brought her here. You're fired.
You are the absolute worst, sir.
Yeah, firing people is your answer to everything, isn't it?
Go home, Josie.
Go home indeed. I guess you're not ready to live on your own, Josie. You're coming with me right now.
I don't want to.
I said now.
Yes, Mother. I don't believe this.
All right, everyone. There's nothing more to see here. Cecilia, let's get back to work.
Sorry, Bitzer, but I really need to look for Stephen. I still don't know where he is.
Well, okay. I mean, if there was ever a good day to skip work, it's probably this one. Go for it.
Thanks, Bitzer.
As for me, I've already lost my school and my political career. I guess I'll go home and rethink my life.
Don't give up, Father. Cecilia's taught me some great life lessons that really helped me. You can learn them too.
Learn from Cecilia? I suppose it's better than failing a third career.
I don't suppose anyone could use the services of a scheming housekeeper? Thanks for coming to visit me, Louisa.
It's no problem, Cecilia. How are you holding up?
Oh, I'm worried sick. It's been days, but nobody's seen Stephen since he was fired. Where could he possibly be? He's very accident-prone, Louisa. What if something's happened to him?
Don't give up hope, Cecilia. Stephen's out there, somewhere.
I hope you're right. I can't stand waiting like this, with no idea whether he's safe.
Aren't you going to answer it?
What if it's bad news?
Cecilia, you brought my personality back from the brink and caught a thief. Now don't tell me you're too afraid to answer a door.
Thank you, Louisa. Whatever happens, I'll be ready for it.
As heartwarming as this conversation is, Cecilia, I could hear it better with the door open.
Oh, Stephen!
Cecilia!
Welcome in, please. Louisa's here too. So where have you been? I was so worried about you.
Well, Tom told me to wait outside the Millbank factory for a job offer, but he never showed up.
Yeah. As it turns out, Tom lied about that. He just wanted to frame you for a crime.
What? That double-crossing hornswoggler?
Don't worry, it's been handled. In fact, Tom's in jail now.
Oh. Well, good. Anyway, Tom didn't show, so I decided to take Bitzer's advice and seek employment in another town. But on the way to the railway station, I tripped and fell down an abandoned mine shaft.
From what I've heard, that does sound like something you might do.
Aye. I was banged up pretty badly, but fortunately I didn't break any bones.
Thank goodness for that.
Aye again. I was able to climb out, but it took a few days. I was pretty careful about it, I can tell you. I didn't want to risk another fall.
The important thing is that you made it back. I've really missed you.
I've missed you too, Cecilia. But you know, some good came out of all this. My job hunt is officially over.
Huh? How is that even possible?
Yeah, Did that mine shaft have an employment agency?
Even better, I found a great big pile of abandoned gold. Now I'm rich.
Incredible. I guess your accidents have finally paid off.
That seems very improbable, though. I mean, you fell down a mine shaft, stumbled across a pile of gold, and it was just yours for the taking? Isn't that a little over-the-top fortunate?
Yeah, but I could have just as easily died from the fall. And that would have been over the top tragic, not to mention pointless. So, I thought I'd go all in on a happy ending.
Well, I'm just glad you're alive, gold or no gold. Please don't disappear again, Stephen.
Don't worry, Cecilia. I don't mean to. That doesn't count. It was involuntary.
Stephen, are you okay?
I know how to land safely. But I guess I'm still accident prone. I hope that's okay with you, Cecilia.
Whatever happens, Stephen, we'll muddle through it together. A few weeks later, Stephen proposed to me. We were married within a year. Stephen used his newfound wealth to buy out the Millbank factory from the disgraced Mr. Bounderby. Bitzer remained employed at the Millbank factory. He eventually became a competent middle manager. He's still a weasel, but he's a more likable weasel than we would have thought.
Well, my work speaks for itself.
Mr. Bounderby's mother was outraged at the way he had slandered her. She sentenced him to 10 years of performing household chores for an absolutely minimal allowance.
Josie! Make sure you dust around the picture frames.
Yes, Mother.
And dispose of your sweepings properly. I know you've been hiding them under the carpet.
So, it's come to this. Josiah Bounderby reduced to menial labor and patronizing lectures.
Don't refer to yourself in the third person, Josie. It's very pretentious.
Mrs. Sposset became an overnight celebrity with the publication of her best-selling tell-all book, I Worked for a Humbug. Her fame didn't last, but fortunately she was smart enough to hang on to the money she made. The only house she keeps now is her own.
Perhaps I'll hire my own housekeeper.
Mr. Gradgrind left politics in disgrace, but he landed on his feet. He now makes a modest living through farming. He raises horses and grows flowers. More importantly, he's finally abandoned his narrow-minded philosophies.
You didn't need to call them narrow-minded philosophies.
Yes, I did. Louisa has taken up painting and converted the old schoolhouse into a studio. She shows great promise, and she's becoming a popular figure on the art scene.
It's just my way of expressing myself.
Tom was sent to prison for his crimes. Why wouldn't he be? He was soon joined by James Harthouse, who'd been arrested for being an absurdly selfish cad. They'll go free in 5 years, but only if they behave themselves.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
In retrospect, I should have left this plot while I was still ahead.
As for me and Stephen, we've tried to raise our children on a balance of logic, imagination, and common sense. On some unspoken agreement, Stephen handles the finances, and I handle most of the tasks involving sharp objects or fire.
The insurance company insisted on it.
So far, it's worked out pretty well, and that's a fact.